Each week we bring you stories of athletes who inspire us.
Weston Ranch Junior forward Richard Banks was a product of the foster care system as a child until he found a home with a family that needed him just as much as he needed them.
The Weston Ranch boys basketball team plays at a frenetic pace. A steady and stable force among several returning all-leaguers this year is junior forward Richard Banks.
All-league, he's been an all-defensive player for us. He's very long, he has great natural instincts. His body control is ridiculous. He can shoot the basketball, he can, make decisions, facilitate for others. He can defend. There's not really anything he can't do.
I've been playing since 3rd grade, and then after that I just really fell in love with the game. I never trained or nothing. I used to just go out and play. But I feel like I still got room for improvement for this year and next year.
For as money as Banks has been for the Cougars, his life outside of basketball has not always been so stable.
I got adopted when I was turning 2. My older brother was turning 3. I was still young, so I didn't know what adopted and what it was until I got older.
2007, they came through my doors. They were in foster care, taken from their parent, and then came into our home, which was a blessing.
But Greta and her husband Ron didn't realize just how big of a blessing Richard and his brothers would be. The Sassers brought the boys in less than 2 years after suffering a tragedy of their own.
I lost my firstborn. That was devastating. She was 23. She went into a diabetic coma. I didn't know how open my heart was to love, because after suffering some tragic, you don't realize that you really are open to pour your love into someone else and to continue to give. God didn't want me to stop. He said you have to keep living, keep pouring yourself out into these children that have a need, and you have a heart of love to give to them. And so that's what I did.
Over the years, the Sassers have taken in 10 foster children, including Richard and his 3 brothers.
They mean a lot, because if it wasn't for them helping me with the transition from my birth parents to there, I don't think I would be where I'm at right now. They helped get my grades on track, put food on my plate, and clothes on my back, so I'm thankful for them.
There was a brief period before middle school where Richard was able to live with one of his biological parents, but as housing instability rose, his grades began to fall.
I wasn't doing so good at school.
Which also meant no basketball.
The game of basketball means a ton to Richard, for sure. When he was younger, he was getting in trouble. Everything he gets in trouble for had to do with basketball. And you could tell that basketball was a big part of his life, but school wasn't.
If I would have stayed out there, I probably wouldn't be playing basketball right now because of my grades. So I decided to just move down here.
Just before high school, Richard moved back in permanently with the Sassers, where he found a sense of stability and belonging and earned his way back to the game of basketball.
Having that confidence of assurance that I have a family or someone is going to come through for me, that's what it was. So basketball for Richard gave him that. That was his out. That was his connection that helped him to thrive. He found a community that he can be a part of. So that meant something to him also.
Now with increasing continuity, structure, and an extended support system, Richard's grades have been on the rebound.
My grades been way better. I'm 3.0 and above now.
Once he started realizing that academics and basketball go hand in hand, he went from someone that was having a hard time passing any classes to now he's an honor roll student, 3.0 and higher, because he's giving effort not just on the basketball court but in the classroom, and that's what we're the most proud of.
Richard hopes to use the game of basketball as a means to give back to the family that gave so much to him.
The places it can take me, and like the money I can make off of it, because that money could be used to help my family.
To even think about us, that blesses me. Thank you. I didn't even know that he felt that way.
I'm thankful for everything they've done for me and taking me and my brother as one of their own, and that we're really thankful for having them a part of our lives.
Reporting from Stockton, Nick Pecoraro, 49ers Sac-Hi Sports.
So far, Richard is averaging better than 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, assists and 3 steals a game for Weston Ranch. The Cougars play a brutal non-league schedule, but they hope to turn it around with league play beginning this week.
Yeah, we will see the Cougars play in our second SunPower Electric game later on in the show.